Hey, how about a maintenance video today? Okay, this is what we're working on today, a 2007 Honda Accord. This is a 4-cylinder. We're going to be servicing the transmission fluid today. Okay, before we do the service, we want the engine good and warm. So let it warm up, let the cooling fans come on, maybe take it for a drive 5 or 10 miles or something, and then we're ready to go. So this vehicle's warmed up, so we're good to go there. So we'll make sure that our parking brake is on, and we're going to chalk both rear tires like that because we're going to raise the front of the vehicle up. We don't want this thing rolling on us. And we'll go in here and we'll pop the hood. And we'll just get it propped up and ready to go. And seeing as we're right here under the hood, right next to our battery, that's going to be our ATF dipstick right there with the yellow handle. Now in order to do this service, we got to lift the front of the vehicle up. So the lift point from the front on these Hondas is going to be right here, right where my finger is. So that bracket right there is where we're going to put our jack, and then over here and over here is where we're going to put the jack stands. And from behind the front tire here, this is our reinforced lift point for the jack stands. So we're going to put a jack stand here, and we're going to put a jack stand on the other side. I don't get under vehicles with only a jack. I'm going to put jack stands here. We just give it a little rock, make sure we're securely on our stands. Alright, now this work is technically supposed to be done level, and it was designed to be done on lift. So you lift the vehicle straight up in the air, do your service, and drop it straight back down. Doing it on jack stands like this, where we're only lifting the front end, we have to be cognizant of that, and we just try not to lift the front end too high. We try to keep it, as level as possible. So we're not too far off, we're still okay. We'll be just fine doing the service this way. Alright, now that we got the vehicle safely up in the air and on jack stands, there's our lift point right there for reference. Here's our engine oil pan, and then over here, here's our transmission. If I can get a shot, there's our drain bolt right there for the transmission. It just takes a standard 3/8 inch ratchet to knock that loose. We don't even need a socket. So we'll break that free and then drain the fluid. Alright, I'm just going to take a 3/8 inch ratchet. This happens to be a little bit longer flex head one, but it's just a standard 3/8 inch ratchet. We'll make sure to switch it to off, and we'll just pop it in there just like that. And now we got to break it free. You can see sometimes they're on there tight, which is why I use a little bit longer ratchet. I might even have to get a longer one. There we go. Once it breaks free, usually you can just spin them off. Now what I'm going to do is take a short little 3/8 inch extension and put it like that, so I can turn it and, well, can you see? So I can turn it and kind of keep my fingers out of the stream, because it's going to be hot. So we'll put our drain pan right there like that, so we'll try to catch as much as we can. Actually, we'll turn it that way, try to catch as much as we can. Hopefully you can see. Now I'm just going to try to spin this out of the way and try not to make a mess. And just like that. Alright, now what I can do is I can go up top and pull the dipstick out so we can let a little air in here. Alright, I'm just going to pop the dipstick up out of its housing there, just so we let some air in and let that fluid come out a little bit easier. The reason I don't do this before I break it free and take that bolt out is because that fluid can really shoot out and make a mess everywhere. So I like doing it this way. Alright, now we'll just let that drain until there's not much coming out. And while it's draining, we'll go ahead and clean up our bolt and grab a new washer. Alright, now we'll just take our drain bolt and wipe it off, and all the black that is coming off like that, that's going to be little metal shavings. That's completely normal. And now there's our washer, and we need to replace this. I don't recommend reusing those. They're cheap, so if you're going to do this job, replace the washer. So let me go get another one. I'll show you the part number for that. Okay, here's a bag of new washers from Honda. And hopefully you can read that. If not, I'll put it on the screen. But there's our part number right there for these washers. So I'm just going to take one, and it may be hard to tell, but there's definitely one side that's a little bit flatter, and then there's one side that's just a hair rounded. We want that super flat side to be our sealing surface. Now if you put it in backwards, it's still probably going to seal and you shouldn't have an issue, but that's the way I was taught and that's the way I do it. Put the flatter side that's going to go against the transmission. So now we're ready to go put this back in. Alright, once it's at a drip like this, now we can go ahead and put our bolt back in with our new washer. What I do is I get it started like that and then take a rag, kind of clean it up some, and then run it all the way back in. So at least now it's snug. Now we need to torque it down properly. Okay, we'll get our drain pan out of the way and then we'll torque this properly. These are 36 foot-pounds, and nearly all Hondas, the ATF drain plug is going to be 36 foot-pounds, and this one's no exception. Alright, with our torque wrench set to 36 foot-pounds, we'll put it in here and get it torqued properly. Come on. And there we go. Yeah, 36.4. Alright, you saw 36 foot-pounds is not very much. I highly recommend you do not over-torque these. That can end in a very bad day. And as you can see from my drain pan, I have a custom cut piece of padding in there so that the fluid goes through it, but it won't splatter and splash everywhere, because some of these, when it comes out fast, it can really make a mess. Alright, now that we made sure everything's clear from under the vehicle, we can go ahead and lower it back down. And so we don't forget, we'll remove our wheel chocks. Alright, now to refill our fluid, we need not only the right capacity, but we need the right type of fluid too, and we need a funnel to put it in, because we're going to add the fluid right back in through the dipstick. So we're going to pull that dipstick out, put a funnel in, and then add the proper amount of fluid. Alright, pull the dipstick out, clean it off, and now we'll try to find a funnel that'll fit. Alright, you can see I have a few different funnels to choose from. I think I can make all 4 of these work if I wanted to. We're going to go with this one today. And we'll take our funnel and get it into place just like that. And we'll look at service data to find out how much ATF we need to add back in. And we're looking at 3.0 US quarts at change. And the whole system takes 6.9 US quarts, so this changes out about half, little less than half of the entire capacity. And although this spec says ATF Z1 and it says always use Honda ATF, that is an old spec. I'm going to show you what we need to use nowadays. Okay, you saw the service info indicated Z1, but it's been superseded by this Honda transmission fluid ATF DW1. So pretty much any Honda that has a conventional automatic transmission is going to take this fluid. Now there are newer ones with CVTs, and those have specific fluid, so you would not want to use this fluid in those. But anyway, we need 3 of these quarts, so this is what I'm going to put in, 3 quarts just like this. And if you're worried about putting the exact or correct amount in, you can always measure what you took out. And you can see that that's what I did here. I just put it in this old oil jug, and you can see that I'm right at 3 quarts. That's what I took out. So we're going to put the exact amount back in. Alright, we're going to dump all 3 quarts in nice and slowly. This stuff will kind of blurt back out at you if you dump it in too fast. So I recommend nice and slow so you don't make a mess. There's 1, 2, and 3. We'll pull our funnel out. And we'll reinstall our dipstick. Now these dipsticks have a notch right there. Hopefully you can see it. This little notch right there coincides with the notch on the tube. So we got to make sure to line that up. And that's what it looks like when it's properly installed. Alright, now that we're done servicing it, it's very important we keep this at the proper level. Now you saw by draining and matching what we put in to what we took out, we know that at least we kept it the same as where it was before. But we want to make sure that it is at the proper level. The way to do it on these Hondas is a little bit different. This is not like your grandparents' Oldsmobile. We check it with the vehicle off. So first thing we need to do, we need to make sure the vehicle's on a level surface. We don't want it to be, you know, jacked in the air on a curb or anything like that. It needs to be level. And then we want the vehicle engine to be warmed up. They say that the fans need to come on between 1 and 2 times for it to accurately show on the dipstick. If it's too hot, if the fans have come on 3 or 4 times or more, it may indicate a level that's too high. So in that case, you may want to let it cool down and then warm it up again till the fans come on between 1 and 2 times, and then check it then. But once we get the vehicle warmed up properly, then we shut the vehicle off, and then we wait 60 to 90 seconds, and that's when we check it. Between 1 minute and 90 seconds, we pull the dipstick out, wipe it off, reinsert it all the way down. Make sure that that tab lines up properly. Push it all the way down into place, and then pull it out and read it. And it should be in between the marks, and I'll show you in here in a second. Alright, I'm going to let the vehicle warm up till the cooling fan comes on, and then I'm going to shut it off and check it. Okay, hopefully you can see that the fans just came on. That's the first time. So now we can go ahead and shut it off. Wait 60 to 90 seconds and check it. Okay, it's been a minute. We can go ahead and pull our dipstick and check it. And I should mention that when I'm warming it up, I typically run it through the gears with my foot on the brake, of course. Now we got to make sure that seats properly, and then pull it out and check it. And well, it may be kind of hard for you to see it, but there's 2 dots on there and it says hot, and we want it to be in between the 2 dots, but preferably closer to the top dot. Now it's moved around a little bit, but I can see that the level is right there at the top dot, so we're good to go on this vehicle. Alright, now's a good time to double check our work, make sure our dipstick is back in, make sure we don't have any leaks. We're good to go. Well, there you go. That's how I service the transmission fluid on these Accords. And as always, if the video helped you out or you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.